It's that simple. I know what my price is. I know what I bring to the table. I know my reputation, and we back it up, because if that lawn doesn't look nice, you're fired. These guys do not play. It's that simple. You know, so you got to differentiate what it is that you're going to do in a very simple service. If you got to do a mosquito program, what does your mosquito program look like? Are you going to include Intercare? Can you include Intercare? Is it going to be a spray program? Since you're thinking holistically, I do an aerial view. I've learned to do aerial views of properties and see what is around them. I can see those drains, those sewer drains that have to be treated by the city. I said, have you called your city and have them come out and inspect those drains for larvae? Because you don't have on your property anything that would indicate that you have a breeding site on your property.
You're saying exactly.
But I sell entomology. I don't sell contracts.
That's
So,
correct.
so why am I going to sell a guy on a spray service that he's going to call me next month and complain he still has mosquitoes and lose the client and get a bad review? I'm just honest that way. I just had one the other day. Customer called me with a specialty plant, and I said, "Who do you have as your company?" "Oh, I have this company." I said, "Well, you know, they're a good company, honestly. They're a very good company. They're my competitor." And I said, honestly, if they haven't solved it, I won't be able to solve it for you. I know what they do. We're dealing with the same problem. We were actually together on site, me and them, while I brought entomologists down from the USDA to deal with that specific problem. And they were with me that day. You know, so why am I going to BS the customer and saying, yeah, I'm great, when I know I'm not going to be able to solve it? Why would I take on a client that I can't solve a problem for? So I've learned where to pick my battles. What I don't like, if I get a crawl space client right now and he's got damaged crawl space vents and he's got rats and he's got roaches, if he doesn't commit to repairing that first, I simply tell him, I'm not taking you as a client. I walk away because I know I'm never going to be able to satisfy him. It's going to be a constant problem where their last 6 companies have failed because they signed the contract knowing that customer wasn't going to fix that problem. So unless you can spend $2,000 to repair all those vents, you're not going to be my client, because I don't have magic juju juice that I can fix this for. So I simply let them know, here's the quote for the repair. If you do the repair, here's the quote for the pest control. If you don't, we don't do either.
So you do those repairs yourself. Yeah. So you offer that to them also.
Yeah, we offer them to them. But understand that I already know. And I go to the client and says, no, because if you switch for 5 companies, you're obviously expecting a result. You're unhappy. Nobody's going to satisfy you. So why take on a client you know you're not going to satisfy? So I look at the aerial view. I look at the property. I look at how many bathrooms. I look at the age of the construction, but I already know my market. I know where the construction problems are in parts of the county where the construction is different. I'm aware of all this. So I know that, hey, we'll do the rodent trapping, but I let them know, listen, this is $800 for us to go over there, start a rodent trapping program. And if you don't seal the problem, you're going to be calling me after a week after I've done 4 trappings. And you're going to say, you haven't eliminated my problem. And I'm going to say it's $109 to $129 per trip. And you're going to rack up $1,000 bill and you're going to be upset. So if you're not going to fix the repair problem, know that you're going to continue to have a rat problem. And it's going to take me at least 2 months to bring down a population in your area. So understand the expectations are clear, and it's in my contract. I write it into my contract that I told you, unless you do this, this, and this, I can't guarantee it. And by the way, you're going to pay double for me than you pay for everybody else.
Real quick, I saw you because I don't know where to get this product. You had the mesh, and then you had those little, and you built your own little vents. Where'd you buy the material?
That's from AAC. That comes from AAC distributor. I can send you a link on that. American Air Conditioning and Vent, something they do it. I've got here's a little piece of it right here on my desk. And anybody's wondering, this is a poly-coated aluminum that comes with a frame that you can easily put around and make those. Yeah,
Yes.
those are from AAC. This is the product we use to make all our vents because we got to make them custom every time.
Exactly. I mean, I don't see that in Home Depot.
No, you can't get it. The stuff they sell, the vents are too big, so you're still going to get mice through it. This will stop. If you want to get really picky with this, you can do a backing with aluminum screening, like just regular screen, and then you can block off. Then you can block off mosquitoes also,
Mosquitoes, yes.
and ants. This will do up, a roach. It'll stop roaches. It'll stop, your pill bug could probably get through there. But for rodent, mice, large insects, they're not going to get, lizards, they're not going to get through there. That's what we use because we got to custom make them because the other doors are too expensive to pre-order them and the market will not support it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So you got to kind of like,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do that? I just quoted one for $1,000 for 8 vents, $1,000 from a school that is a super rich school, that is a French school, that they're in the middle of one of the richest places and all the vents are damaged because they had air conditioning damage for years. They never fixed it. And says, we can't get anybody to control the roaches. The reason you can't control the roaches is because all those vents are open. They're all climbing in. And then I showed them underneath all of the bathrooms and how they've had these big giant holes that they haven't fixed. They're just walking in. I said, there isn't a pest control company on the planet that can solve this problem for you. And now you got students and you're putting them at risk because you won't spend $1,000 when you're an ultra rich school. Makes no sense to me.
That's right.
So I hit them between the eyes and they got to decide if they want to be with me. If not, move on. But I'm not going to entertain the idea that I'm going to take you on as a client without you fixing it. And I'm going to fail.
Exactly. Yes, it's going to continue. You don't want to continue.
So we walk away. We have no problem walking away with a client that isn't going to cooperate, especially when they're wanting eco-friendly, because the idea is they think that I'm going to come in with Ecovia, with Essentria and spray the whole school. If I spray a school with Essentria, I will inevitably have one student start having an asthma attack. You can't do it. You got to use IPM. I don't want to use IPM. I want you to use something stronger, but only on the outside. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. So I got to educate that school director on IPM.
That's correct.
And exclusion and sanitation and all the problems. I said, look at that vent. I said in the bathroom, that floor drain. You got slits in it. That's big enough for an American roach to walk in. Swap that plate out with one that has little tiny holes because you're not even putting anything down that drain. And watch how that American roach stops come walking right in. Simple fix. Look at this door. It has 1/4 inch between the 2 metal doors. Call a door company and have them install a new seal on that aluminum, swinging door.
That's correct.
And you're going to stop them from coming in. Without stopping them, I can't fix this for you. It's an illusion.
Or you do it for them and it's extra charge.
Right. In some cases we can, and in some cases we can't, because we got to be able to find, we're not door experts. So I can't find that trim, but a door expert says, yeah, I know what manufacturers that is. I'll get it in, order it. We'll install it next week. Some things aren't worth for us to get in because we're not experts at it. I got to know where I can make this, cut it. I can cut it any shape. I can, fix her holes. I can do this. But on a fabricated door that is 50 years old, okay, they either have to swap out the whole door, or they got to find somebody who knows what they're doing with doors. It's like garage doors. I'm not going to get into the garage door replacement seal business because now I got to carry 15 different seals for 15 different garage doors. I'm not a garage door expert. Call a garage door guy, get him to fix it. But here's the problem. Look at your concrete. It needs to get leveled. Your seals have gotten old and cracked, and now they're at an angle. That's how these roaches are going in. So we do exterior doors on restaurants, the back doors. We put a strip across the bottom to stop that roach from coming in, but we can install sweeps. That's something we can do. When it comes to now custom manufacturing, we don't want to get into it. It's not worth our time to be experts at everything. So I got to decide, what are we an expert on and what are we not?
Frank, when I was working in that big company as a tech and all those callbacks, you don't get to see the pricing. Sometimes most of the time the invoices did not have the pricing because they're already, because we never did charge. it was already, they were already automatically charged.
Okay, let me ask you this.
In the office.
Were you paid by production or hourly?
Hourly.
Yeah, so hourly, they wouldn't have to, but if you're, paying production, you have to, because I got to know, what you charge that client.
Yeah, no, I'll just hourly. So that's why many of the pricing, I don't know.
Okay, the way you do it is you work the law of averages. You call the top 20 in your market, and you get all their pricing.
And that I got. That I
and then what you do is you put it on a spreadsheet. You put it 169 initial, bi-monthly price is this, quarterly price is this. You put them all together, and at the bottom, you go to your summary and say, what's the average price? And you see the fluctuation. And you see, okay, here's the average, the median price, and here's what individually these companies are charging. Where do I need to be in my pricing to be competitive? Because you're never going to be able to be double and be competitive. Right. It doesn't exist. That's a fallacy. We're double on a lot of things because of what we do, because of our specialty, not because they're comparing us to the other company. What do you do differently? I get this. What do you do differently than this company? What do you do differently? I says, here's what we do differently. Here's why you're paying more, because it does take a lot longer. I said, that tech that comes in, usually he's there 5 minutes. When we do an initial, it's an hour and a half on that home. So that's you're paying for time. Time is money. And IPM takes longer, and I got to educate them on IPM. So you get your pricing from all of your competitors that you're going to be competing against. Where
residential, I got residential. My question is with a restaurant scenario.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let's tackle that. Why do you want to do restaurant, and why do you want to do commercial?
I think it opens up a little window there where I can also be successful and have some income.
Okay, but why? I'm gonna drive you nuts right now.
Yeah. Well, one, warehouses I've done before.
Okay.
There hasn't been a problem. Kitchens, I just been trained on. Never went exactly into.
Right.
And countless hours of training. But I know it's something that I can do. Well, if I think I can do it.
Right. Now, I want you to flip that question. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should be doing it.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, the pro and con. You're having in a process where you enjoy a lot of peace and quiet.
Yes.
And tranquility.
Yes.
You won't have that with commercial kitchens. You will have nothing but problems because they won't listen. I'm a Hispanic. That Cuban restaurant around the corner that has a roach problem isn't going to change their habits. They are not the Ritz-Carlton. Pepe's Taco Shop is not going to change what he does because that's his business. He's not going to change his supplier, which is the one bringing in the product, because there's no chain of custody on that product. We're not dealing with, Ecolab here, customers. We're not dealing with Stereotech clients. So you're going to be always arguing with, every month you're there and every month it's infested. Every month you're going to be demoralized. Every month there's a complaint. Every month there's a call where you got to service it either before they open or after they open. So if you enjoy having a work-life balance and not being out at 2 o'clock in the morning servicing a restaurant, that's going to be the downside. I used to do it. I was good at it. And then I evaluated, I don't want to be at 10 o'clock at night when they close, waiting for the cleaning crew. And why did they leave the floor wet? And why didn't they clean this up? And why is that garbage can not thrown out? And I talked to the manager and he says, yeah. I already talked to them about it. They won't do it, which makes me sense. Are you really a manager? You see what I'm saying? So
I got it.
So can you do commercial? Can you do commercial warehouses that you can service them during the day on your route? If you're a morning guy and you say, structure the company around you. because people will tell you, no, you got to structure it around your clients. Your client will want everything from I want a purple unicorn till I want you here at 2 a.m. Who is your client? So if you say, yes, we will do a warehouse service between the hours of 9 and 5. No, I want you here after 5 because that's when all our people leave, and I don't want you doing a service when our people are here. You got to find another company. We're not that company for you. Simple. Let it be that company that requires that tech to be out at 8 o'clock at night since 7 a.m. Do you want a lifestyle? And do you want your business to reflect your personality and your lifestyle? Because reality is it does. The brand and the culture of the company is the owner until you become a mega large company and then you lose your identity.
That's correct. That's correct.
But if you're still a small owner running a $4, $5, $6 million company, you're kind of still the culture in the company. That's like, $5 or $6 million isn't really that big of a company, even though that's huge if you ever make it that big.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic.
That's a huge undertaking, but in comparing to other businesses, it's not really that big of a company. So you're still personally involved. You're still there. You're still the culture. You still got operations managers under you, but you've got a close relationship with everybody there. It's not like a CEO of a $2 billion company. So the reality is, would I want to do commercial kitchens? If you wanted to get the experience under your belt and be satisfied, you could as a hobby. I would not, like, we got completely out of commercial. We're 100% residential. I only have one interior large commercial account left because they are an organic pet food business. Okay. And they want what we offer.
I didn't know about that, Frank. I didn't know about your company. I didn't know it. They don't do restaurants.
We don't. We did when I was doing it, and then I decided it isn't worth it. I'm getting out of it. We had 10, 12 clients. We did great, but they kept reinvesting it every month because they switched suppliers because the suppliers gave them a cheaper price. And they basically told me, we're not going to switch back. And I said, then you're going to lose me because I'm killing myself here with you guys. It's not worth it. So we are primarily an exterior pest control company: mosquito, lawn, garden, flea and tick, perimeter exterior treatment. We only go inside when you are doing an initial, when we're doing follow-ups on those initials, or when you complain that you got a problem inside. So my tech is usually in a property about 20% of the time.
Okay.
If he's got 10 stops in a day, he's only in 2 of them. The rest, we show up when we show up to do it, and we're not asking for permission. Even clients who don't have, like, security here is big with gates and locks, we install a lockbox with the key that we only have access for. So if anybody ever gets into that yard, it was our responsibility. Because they've got security and they've got high, these are high price homes.
Okay.
They need the security. I get it, but they got cameras. They get a notice when we're going. They get a notice when we've been there. But we're not asking if the client, no, but I want you to be here every single time that I come. I said, listen, we're not the company for you. We don't do that. Fine. There's 241 companies that will do that. We got to clear who our client is, because if not, we spend our time with everybody trying to please everybody, and you can't do it. It's not realistic. It's BS. The guy that tells me he's doing all that. And I guarantee you he's killing himself. He's bitter and angry about it. And he can't grow, and he can't find technicians that will put up with that. And he's stuck like Chuck. Don't tell me you're getting it done and you're expanding, you're growing, and you're doing all this. I get it. There's certain markets. That's just the way it's going to be. I get it.
So right now you don't do warehouses then?
We do one.
Only the one that you told me.
Yep. We only do that one warehouse. We generally don't do warehouse because our prices compared to what the commercial guys are competing for, Why? You're going in spraying with a B&G. Anybody can do that. That's my laundry. It's finished. You know, so why am I going to compete in an arena? I got a blue ocean strategy. Why am I going to compete in a red shark infested ocean?
I got it. I got the mentality. I got it. I know who you are now.
Yeah.
I know who
And
you
that's
are.
it. But understand, you got to have the stomach and the patience for it.
Yeah, I got it.
And you got to be willing to walk away from what isn't good for you.
I got it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What else you got?
That was pretty much it. And like I said, and that's why I like you, Frank, because you're able to change. Just like you said, I'm not there. I haven't gone on that boat yet. Like you said, I'm not trying. I haven't.
That's
gone
why
that
I
train.
wanted to have this
You know what I
conversation
mean?
because I gave you a couple of books to get you to rethink where you think you're going, because you're only seeing things from the outside, but you don't see you don't understand the inner working of the business side. You've seen it from a technician,
Exactly.
and you have sales experience,
Exactly.
but you don't see the inner workings of, if you commit to this now, how will you then undo it? Because it's like children. Once you tell them something and once you do it, you always have to do it.
Oh, but I love it because you just changed my mentality again. You're right about all those restaurants. They close late at night. I'll be up late at night. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. That's why, I'm already an older man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
How old are you now?
I'm 47.
Okay, so we're not that far apart. I'm 50. I'm going to be 52 this year. Yeah.
47.
I mean, and you got it. And what I would really, 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 really help you focus on right now at that age is that you got to figure out a way how you quickly get yourself out of that truck and put a young technician in there. And how do you become a manager and a business leader and a businessman versus a technician? Get yourself as quickly as you can out of the mentality that you're a technician, that you're going to do it all yourself, that nobody can do it like me, because that's the biggest trap that you're going to fall into, is saying nobody can do it like me. And since nobody can do it like me, I'll just do it myself. And bro, let me tell you, friend to friend, man to man, that's ego. That's nothing but ego. You got to get that out of the way.
Things that I am a micromanager.
And you got to not do that. And you can't.
I want to do everything. I want to
do, you got to get yourself out of that mentality that, guess what? Here, if you use the 80-20 rule, are you familiar with Pareto Principle? With the 80-20 rule? Okay.
No, just right now, what you've been discussing.
Okay, the 80-20 rule is the Pareto Principle. It was not a finance guy, but an economist. You know, he was an Italian economist. He quickly found out that 80% of all the money in the world was owned and managed and controlled by 20% of the population. That's the Pareto Principle. What we quickly find out is in nature and in everything else that seems to fit to about everything. If you can find a kid who is 24 years old, if you will create protocols, policies, and procedures, how everything is supposed to be done, and you train on it, and if he does it 80% as good as you, you're golden. Because the customer is never going to see that big 20% shift. It's an illusion. Understand that you don't want a guy that you can now, because I'm good at sales, I expect him to be, everybody that comes work for me be good at sales, because you're never going to get that either. Because only 20%, if you got 10 technicians, only 20% of those technicians are going to be great salespeople. The rest are going to be mediocre or non-existent. So unless you decide you're going to hire people only that can sell and do, then you have that clear that that's what you're expecting. But if not, if I can get a technician that just focuses on being personable, likable, shows up on time, and just follows the protocols, I'm golden. I just had a conversation last night with another technician. His Guy went into the attic. We talked about it. The day before, he had a carpenter ant problem. And I said, Bo, just bait the attic. I have a blower. I blow it in. Oh, can you use the B&G blower and get it in there? Yes, you can. Use that. Sends me a picture of a hole in the roof. His technician crawled to get the product because he was throwing it by hand. Hand went through the ceiling. Customers complaining. Now he's got a repair job and he's blaming the technician. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Didn't I tell you that you're supposed to train? You're training by abdication. You told them to throw it in there. You didn't give them the tool to throw it in there. You didn't give them the proper instruction to say, this is how you do it. And then you're mad at him because he was trying to do a good job because he couldn't reach it because he's a big guy and he in the crawl space hole is this big and he's trying to throw it with his hand. And you're pissed off now because you got to pay for that repair. And that's what you're really pissed off at. That's your fault. So if you've got protocol, policy, and procedure, mine is on 2 pages and 4 pages of biology. That's it. As a teacher, I made it super simple. Now what I got to do is teach you on, here's how you actually do it. And here's why this is a reminder of what you missed. And now he says, no, I agree. You're right. But you were too busy and you didn't want to go in the field with him. And you didn't want to teach him how to do that right because I assume he knew how to crawl into a crawl space. You know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. And that's exactly what happened. Thank God it was a cheap house and not a big giant 4,000 square foot mansion where the guy is demanding that his entire 4,000 square feet of ceiling be repainted to match that repair. Because now you're talking a major bill because you decided it wasn't important. Attention to detail matters. If you keep your eye as a micromanager, if you focus on the details and then teaching those details to your people, you're going to be fine. I got my tech. He's a 2-year tech now. Bro, there isn't anything that kid can't solve. He's 26 years old. I have to go in the field with him once a month. There was a drain fly problem in a house with a crawl space. And I said, that house had a repair done. They did a remodeling job. You've been there twice. I went with him on the 3rd time. I give him 3 shots. But if he hadn't gotten the population was getting worse. That's not normal. It should be getting better. If it's getting better, I'll let him slide and I'll let him go the 3rd time. And if it isn't solved, then I'll go. I got to manage my time. I can't be on every call, micromanage. Oh, because he didn't do it, be paranoid. No. I'm trusting the process here. I let him do it. Got worse. The customer sends me, look, I put out these giant glue boards and they're all full. I says, ask her if she's got a problem in her plumbing. She says, no, we don't have a problem in our plumbing. I said, there's a problem in the plumbing. I guarantee you there's a problem in the plumbing. That's not normal. Biology 101. We're treating and there's larvae coming out of there. Hours after we treat it, they should all be dead. I go out to the property. I search. I go in the crawl space. I look. I'm not going to crawl in a crawl space. I said, listen, you've got a problem in the plumbing. There's nothing outside. There's no organic matter. They're not flying outside. There's something in the plumbing. She was adamant there wasn't. She finally gave in and calls the plumber. Sends me a text. I'm going to send you the text later. Hey, you were right. He found 3 cracks in the plumbing, 1 underneath and 2 in the wall. It was the original cast iron pipe that had cracked and rotted and literally disintegrated. And now sewer was just pouring into her. And I can smell it when I opened the hatch. So she got the whole line replaced. He went in. Second service, the problem is almost gone now. We treated the crawl space for sewage and all that with DSV, and we sprayed it all under there. And now she says they're almost gone. I only see a few. I said, biology 101. If you teach your people biology, the chemistry part is easy. So you're saying I'm a micromanager. Every person that about goes in as a technician is because that's what they're used to be doing. You're used to controlling your environment, but you got to learn that nobody's going to do it. Just get it out of your mind and just accept it, that that's just ego. Because the two worst things that are going to hold you back is going to be perfectionism, and worse than perfectionism is idealism. And here's a guy talking to you that's an idealist. And that's what held me back. That I wanted to do something that I couldn't achieve because I couldn't get it perfect. What did I learn to do? After much counseling, I put it out when it's 80% and let the market fix it. I don't worry if the product is 95%. These perfectionist guys will want to do it and they never move. Just move, fix it along the way. Get it out there and just fix it along the way. But you got to have the stomach for the criticism and the research and development and all this. If you can get a guy and if you learn to hire, I would suggest that you start taking courses now on HR recruiting. Not HR, because people think HR is important. It is, but you can hire an HR person, consultant, to deal with all the legal parts. Nobody's going to teach you how to hire. You're going to have to fail at it 100 times before you figure it out. Hire an HR consultant that can tell you how to recruit. But if you take the sales and marketing skills of acquiring customers and then you apply them to recruiting, then you got to know how to hire. How do you find out if the person has the soft skills? I would look at a company called Criteria Corp and Predictive Index. It's going to cost you about, to hire your first guy buying that software, it's like $2,000. But you learn how to do personality profiles. You learn to look what you're looking for. If you consult with an HR recruiter, he says, this is the profile you're looking for. And then you have a 50-50 chance of hiring the right guy versus an 80-20 chance of hiring the wrong guy. So it isn't perfect. It's a skill you have to develop. If you start doing it now, when you get ready to hire, you won't be in that crossroad and say, what the hell do I do now? Because you're planning to grow. You're not young. You need to do it. At least if you can get 3 technicians. Okay, 3 technicians. Let's not go crazy here. 3 technicians that each make, let's say, a minimum in your market. I would venture to say the average route is about 150,000 a year. Unless you're working for a large brand, they're pushing you to get that 225 a year. But the average person is going to run about 150,000 in your market. So let's say you've got 3 trucks at 150,000. What's that? 450,000? Okay, 450. 450,000 will produce for you a 6-figure income as an owner. If you do the sales and marketing and hire 1 office staff, you can pull in 6 figures. You go to 600,000, you're doing really well. You're doing 150K a year, easy for you. It's not that hard. If you can't get past the other stuff, you'll always see employees as employees are a nightmare. I hate employees. Whether if you have a paradigm shift, since employees are a blessing because they're going to give me the lifestyle that I want. And then you treat them well and you pay them well. And maybe you're not making 55, 60% like the consultant wants you to make, because somebody has to get shafted in this deal. You got to burn the employee out, or you sell it at a higher price so you can make more profit, or everybody decides they're not going to make as much as everybody else and be happy. And you decide as an owner, if you're making 100,000, you're happy.
Exactly. I was just going to touch on that real quick. From your experience, because you've seen and you counsel a lot of people, and a lot of people follow you. I have a little bit of a fear going out there and starting up,
right?
Because of the income. Now, fear because there's always a fear.
Right.
You know, I have an awesome paycheck in my school. I mean, I have a great income in my school, but thank God, like I said, I own my house, I own I own everything. I don't pay anything but just your utility bills and my cell phone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to be relaxed and all right, you know, I already have my family, I already have my wives, whatever. I'm a solo, you know what I mean? I'm solo, so that's why I can do this right now and be relaxed about it.
Right.
But at an average, when you see people doing this, do you see the jobs? Will those jobs be there? Will there be some income? I don't have to work hard. Do you what do you see usually?
The income is there. There's no question the income is there. And remember that everybody comes from a different place. Most guys have never sold before. If you've never sold before, look, I went into this and I had my income replaced in 6 months. Why? Because I'm a salesman. I went out door to door knocking. I talked to everybody I could, and I replaced my income in 6 months. I never actually had a month where I didn't have income to pay my bills at home. Never did from day one. And I only started out, he had lost all his clients. Think about this. He had less than 50 clients at 35 a month. I think we were like 35. I think, let me see here, 35 times 35. I remember that. $1,200 a month in income. That's it. That's all I had to work with. I had to quickly convert that and double it, and then go out and sell so I can double my business. So if you know you can sell, how good, let's change the conversation from selling to prospecting, because that's really where it's at right now for you. Do you have an advertising budget, like $2,000 a month that you can put in, or no?
Not that much. Not that much.
What realistic number are we talking about?
About 1,000.
It's not too much.
About 1,000.
Okay, so you don't have a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch the conversation. How good are you at prospecting, at going door to door knocking?
I'm good because I have a lot of time in my hands. And what's gonna save me right now is that, and I was gonna ask you about this. I have two hotels waiting for me, because I have family members who run the hotels from big chains, very prominent, you know.
So that'll help you out a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Well, what prospects do you have lined up? You've been talking to people. People are kind of waiting.
Yes.
You know, a lot of that will fall through. I mean, people make a lot of promises, so you don't count out until your chickens have hatched.
That's true. That's true.
But let's say, how good are you at? What did you do before? Did you do mostly residential, or did you do mostly commercial?
Residential.
Okay.
Residential.
Do you have a problem walking through neighborhoods, knocking on doors, and talking to people about what you sell?
Not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I will get my car, stop here, stop there, going to everywhere.
If you can go door to door,
I'm gonna go get her.
If you can go door to door, you can be knocking on people's door after 5 p.m. and go out on Saturdays when they're home and knock on doors, literally knock on their door, cold call, this is bloody knuckles and cauliflower ears. This is not pie in the sky. I say you will have no problem replacing your income in your area 3 to 6 months. You will have more business. You will have 200 accounts before you can think about it.
That's what I'm.
And if you can continue to do that, you put a technician in that truck, and you continue to do that through every neighborhood until you have no more knuckles left. Because that's the most effective. And what I find is that 99.9% of the people in this industry detest that. They detest the practice. They hate it because they don't know how to be salespeople. They don't know how to prospect, and they hate it. And they'll discourage you from it and say it's a bad idea. People will get upset. But if you're personable and you're respectful, say, hey, listen, I'm sorry to bother you. My name is so-and-so. I'm in the neighborhood doing pest control. As a matter of fact, I just did that, the Jones across the street. Would you be interested in knowing about pest control? No, thank you very much. You walk away. Why waste your time with people who don't want to deal with you? And that's it. And you just keep knocking. If you knock on 100 doors a day, you'll get 10.
Exactly.
If you're good.
Exactly.
Especially if, you know, do you know the Joneses? You know, we just signed up. We just controlled their ant problem 2 weeks ago. You know, there's an opportunity for you to save money, literally, because we're right there across the street. It's a lot cheaper for us to service you if we don't have to make a special trip over here every time. Why don't we bundle yours with her and give you a better deal?
That's right.
That's how you do it. That's it. That's a sales pitch.
That's right.
From a door-to-door salesperson. That is the basic sales pitch. We're in the neighborhood. We have an opportunity to save money. Our normal price is this. If you sign up today, I can give it to you at this price. Are you interested?
Correct.
And if you're okay doing that, no, but everybody's going to criticize me. Who cares? Your business doesn't get paid by the other pest control people. You're not there to impress them.
And I'm one of those people. I don't care what the world says. I'm gonna do this. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And if you can do that, man, then don't worry about so much as marketing. Do the ad, you know, put up your website. If you can afford some Facebook ads, target them in the same area you're knocking. Here's the beautiful thing about doing targeted ads, because you can release an ad that says, I'm going to be in your neighborhood on Thursday with a special offer for you. And if you're home between this time and this time, I'll stop on in and talk to you about my pest control business. Now it's no longer a cold call. They're expecting you to drop by. So if you're willing to do that, you're golden. Because if you can go on Nextdoor and say, hey guys, I'm going to be in your zip code next week. Here's a special offer we have. If you're home, you want me to stop on in, message me. I'll be glad to stop on in that day. Take Facebook and Nextdoor and do that. And watch how your route density blows through the roof. Because if you can do door to door, you can fix the route density problem instantly, because that's something you control. You're not dependent on somebody calling you. You're going out and visiting them. You control it 100%. So if you're a control freak, there's your outlet for your control. You see? So I think that those are the things you evaluate when you don't have money, you don't have a shoestring. If you can knock on doors, this is how I did it. I knocked on doors. I went through neighborhood, and if nobody was home, I left my card.
Exactly. Left the card.
That's it. Leave a little brochure. Hey, we're in the neighborhood. Your neighbor just signed up with us. Hey, if you give me a call, I'd be glad to give you a special price. Make that offer. If you're not there, the special price. If you need to compete, let's say you say, I don't want to be 30% above everybody. I know who's in this area, and I know they're at $189 initial and $89 a quarter. Listen, I know my competitors are at these prices. Who do you have? Yeah, here's their price. I know their price. Why don't I do this? If I give you a lower price because I'm already here.
Already here. That's right.
I give you a little discount, save you maybe 5%, 10%. Route density is going to matter more than that $45 trip. You know, people will cut off their nose to spite their faces. Oh, I won't sell it for $10 less, but you will drive 45 minutes, which cost you $89 to drive there.
You got it.
I mean, this is the bull crap we have to get over in the industry, where we think we're that much smarter because ego gets in the way. If I could do that, and I wanted to do that, I'm in a position where next year I can do that, because all my bills are paid. My company bills are paid. I can go with a zero initial and blow my competition out of the water and give you a better promise and a better service and a better quality, because I have route density. And I don't care less if my competition says you're going to destroy the market. No, I'm going to take your customer. Because I already know these guys are doing $35 initials. That's how I know it, because they're doing 30. I see the ads all pop up with their all $35 initials. I'll go to zero initial. I don't care. Business is business, competition is competition. But I'm still going to charge my $89, and I'm going to sell it monthly while you're selling it quarterly. And I'll make 6x the money you're making on the same customer. I make it up in the long run.
That's correct.
But we're in a position where I haven't wanted to do that, because as long as my margins are high, look, I personally only have to deal with 2 on average 3 clients a day. But I will make $1,500 to $1,800 in 4 hours because that's my client. That's the clientele I kept. My other GHP is what I'm expanding, and I'm hiring another tech for that too. So I personally, to produce my income, I spend more time traveling to the area than I am, but I'm taking care of a very exclusive clientele. You know, and that's it. And so those are the things that I would look at if you're doing market. I think you're gonna, bro, you're gonna be fine. You shouldn't have to worry. I mean, I understand the security of a government job, the paycheck being there, the pension, but you've financially set yourself up for success, which most people can't and haven't. I mean, you've done things wisely where everything is paid off. You know, you could care less if you drive a new car or not. You don't have golden handcuffs. You're not there to impress anybody. You're set free. I mean, you're literally free to do whatever it is the heck you want to do.
Thank the Lord, yes. Thank the Lord, yes.
And that's it, brother. I think you're going to be fine, man. I would not worry. I think
my family members are on board putting logos on their vehicles.
Wow, you got a lot of support, bro.
You know what I mean? All my family members are, hey, come and put your logos on all the vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, so.
No, I bro, do focus on Google My Business, that 13-mile radius. Let's recap, because that's going to be your number one priority. Start posting on creating a Facebook page and a little Nextdoor page. Nextdoor is very helpful. And if you can put the ad money, maybe you want to only do Nextdoor, because you can do Nextdoor for like an entire zip code for like $100 and something a month. I mean, it's really cheap right now. It's undervalued. I mean, I did an entire market with 7 zip codes for $400 a month. And that's a population of about 500,000. So it all depends. And you got to do multiple ads and multiple things. But I think Nextdoor for you, and if you post and do postings and interact with people, if you're good with social media, you know, if you find the mommy groups, here's another free way. Remember, it's either time or money. You don't have both usually. But right now, if you can get into the local groups, like the local community groups on your local community, and say, hey guys, look, I'm a local guy. I'm not going to sell you on anything, but if you got a pest question, I'd be glad to answer it. And then, hey, he did the service for me. He's great. You know, people start referring you in that group, in that local group. That's free, but it takes time. You got to be on that phone monitoring your Facebook group. But that works because now you have, the idea is to stay so local. Micro, like think about realtors when they micro farm an area. You know, this is nothing new. Micro farming is nothing new. Figure out what is available to you and test. And spend a couple $100 on a Facebook ad.
Okay.
For a week. You don't know, the beauty of this is you can turn it on, turn it off. You're not committed. You can test. Hey, you know, a local, for people in this area, my local people, this is where I'm at. I'm local with you guys. I'm willing to give you a price break. You can get a $20 discount if you live in this area only.
Perfect.
You know, that thing, so you can keep it. I have no problem discounting. I have no problem with a lot of things, because you got to know where your market, every market is different. You got to know what you're limited to do. What you do now, guess what? You probably won't need to do in 5 years, but you need to do it now.
Exactly.
You got to survive. As long as you're not going in and killing the market where you're, you know, everybody is at $65 and you're doing a $35 service. That's really bad, because it's bad for you, because you will never have the income that you need to actually grow. So you're really you think you're cutting your competition's throat. You're actually cutting your own throat.
And working hard to double to meet that first one.
To meet that number. So why not just figure out if you can give a little bit here to get the density, and, you know, outside of that area, you charge more. Like I got an area here, like I know there's a big national brand. that they don't price based on the square foot of home. They price it based on the market it's in. They know what the customer is willing to pay. So I got a client that's 60 miles from me, but we go into that area. It's a very wealthy area. Here in Miami, that price is $69 every 3 months. Over there, $159 a month. Because they price it based on market. So your local guy, you want that route density. It's more important that you, because you're going to pay for it either in advertising. So give a discount if you have to give a discount. Because if not, you have to pay for it in advertising, or you got to pay for it in mileage and in windshield time.
That's right.
I mean, we're in business to do business. We got to know our costs. And if this thing lowers our cost because somebody else is going to get offended because you discounted, you use the word discount. I don't care. This is what we do as business. This is the reality of where the rubber meets the road, not what I would ideally wish that everybody thinks nicely of me.
Yeah. That's what I told that's exactly what I told my students. Hey, I don't come here to be your friend, to be your dad, I come here to educate you.
Exactly.
So you can be able to succeed. Simple as that. You don't have to like me. You don't have to love me. I come to teach you.
Yep. And that's it. As long as the one that has to be happy with you always is your customer.
There's no customer.
That's it. Nobody else. You don't pay your bills with anybody else's opinions. I have a saying that, it's kind of crude, but opinions are like buttholes.
Everybody has one.
Everybody has one. And most of it comes out as crap.
That's right.
So, bro, hey, that's my 2 cents on this, bro.
Well, Frank, I'm very, very happy. Again,
yeah, brother.
You were put into my path again. Who else does this? Nobody except you. So I really appreciate it,
brother.
Man. It's and I'm sure I'll be bugging you.
Yeah, man, call me.
More and more.
No pun intended, right?
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. If you got, look, I'm gonna give a plug to another guy who is awesome at what he's doing, differently than me, and that is Seth Garber at Pest Daily.
Seth Garber at
Pest Daily. If you're wanting to know how to sell and market and expand, he's doing a bang up job of that with people. He's got a very economical, $69 a month for his course. I think, I don't know where it's at, somewhere around there. And you got unlimited access to everything. The guy knows what he's doing. You're not going to agree with him if your ego clashes, but I can't tell you he's wrong either. It's just, you might not like his method or something. He does private consulting. He is pricey. He only takes on so many private consulting gigs. But if you get to that point where you're up against the wall, if we ever decide going into termite, look into it. I would not discount termite. It's a big money maker. That's what pushes your business. I had lawn and ornamental to replace termite for decades. I never needed it. I'm finding out that I need it now, and that's why I'm doing it. But then I would be talking to Paul Bello. And another guy that's good on the scene that he's not well known. Dude, I'm just lost for names today. My mind goes to crap sometimes. I'll bring you the name up, and he's really good for consulting as far as technical and business consulting, and he's not that expensive, but he knows his stuff. He's had several pest control businesses he's owned. He teaches at UF at the entomology department for pest control courses. I met the guy. He's an awesome guy. I got an interview with him, and now, bro, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, brother. I know you're a good guy, but my train of thought is gone. Those are guys that I have in my circle. I have a very small circle of people that I actually trust and believe. They all have their differences of opinions.
Yeah.
But I will venture to say that if I can get them to agree 80% of the time, I'm golden. So if we got any questions, bro, if not, I'll say goodbye, and we're good, man.
I want to thank you for taking the morning, man. I know you're busy and working and everything. You're my mentor, sir. You're my mentor.
I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't.
You're what you offer makes sense. Simple as that.
Yeah. And it's no nonsense, really. We're not pie in the sky. We're dealing with reality. There are hard issues to deal with for a lot of us. A lot of people are going through a lot of stress, disease, just like you got sick. You know, I got burned out. I got a couple of guys that are dealing with a ton of anxiety. I think I spend most of my time ministering to people than I spend selling. You know.
So this right here is it gonna be on your blog later on, or
Yeah, we're gonna post this probably next week.
Okay.
It'll be up probably maybe next Wednesday. My Eric, my media guy, he handles all this. I just send it to him. I just talk, bro. I'm a talking head. I don't do anything. But it'll be up.
If I want to see it on Facebook, I just go on your page, or how does it work?
It's gonna be on every social media channel that you can think of. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Twitter. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on my website. It'll be plastered everywhere. So yeah, just send me a text with the correct name of your company. Make sure your name is spelled right. I don't want to do that. And then the city you're in, so I can geotag this for you. So that way it'll show up in the area and help you. That way some people might see it and say, hey, you know, this is great. You know, I'd like to hire this guy. But yeah, it'll be everywhere. And I'll send you a link anyway. Once we got it up in the air, I'll have Eric get me the links and I'll send it to you.
When you come to see us, man, over here in San Antonio.
Bro, I want to start doing some traveling in the next couple of years. I want to take some time off to enjoy what I've built. I'm going to be doing some local training. I'm going to be traveling locally, doing CEU training next year. I wanted to do it this year. Too many things happen. As I don't know if you've been following a lot of people that do, you know, my mom's death, the divorce, you know, everything, buying a house. It just got overwhelming. So I put a lot of things on the back burner to allow me time to recover from all that and just get a perspective on life.
So you're relaxing outside your house the other day.
Yeah, I do that a ton. I come home from work early. I spend time with my kid. I'll spend 2 to 3 hours out there every day. I'm taking time for myself. Good. And that's how I haven't done so many things, but I want to start doing my CEU training, which I'm going to get it state certified so I can do it live and then also online. And then I've got an opportunity to travel a little bit as I go to different cities to just leisure and then meet people. I'm planning on going maybe June. My girlfriend and I were planning on going. She wants to go up to Atlanta, Georgia, to Marietta. And I told her, yeah, I like to go. And then I'll, you know, do a couple of podcasts from there, meet a couple of guys, you know, learn from some of them that are there. Maybe get to meet Paul Bello again because he lives up there in Georgia. So a lot of things I want to do that my business now allows me to do the time. I basically wanted a lifestyle, build a lifestyle for myself that I didn't have to be here all the time. And I'm good. Financially, I'm okay. You know, I'm not struggling. I'm not hurting. Not doing, you know, I'm not buying the yacht yet, but, you know, I mean, I got to buy my home this year in the middle of a pandemic when the market is crazy. You know, so it's just the way it is, brother. But yeah, I mean, I want to be doing this. So whenever I travel and say, hey, you know, let's go for a weekend, let's travel out to here. I'll let people know and we'll hang out together, brother.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, my friend. Have a great one, buddy.
Bye-bye, everybody. You too.
Bye.